Hello guys, welcome to the third and the last video of this series of object-oriented introduction. From next video we start with some cool stuff in Android. So let's see what we did. We defined a class, then we defined some fields in it. I told you they look like properties, but they are different a little, and I showed you the message box. I showed you the method, how to define a method in a class, and all of this stuff. So in this one we want to define properties for the first time. We want to see what they are differences between properties and fields. Okay. Properties look like fields. You can put something in it like X and Y, but the only difference is you have some control on it. You can do some things when user assigns them or wants to read it. Imagine, for example, my screen has X from 0 to 1000 something, and Y from 0 to 700 something. I don't remember right now the exact number, but what happens if my user assigns some negative value to it, for example -100? So it becomes a problem for us, because my screen cannot throw something in negative area. So we need to solve that problem. No, we need some control on our properties. For now, I just remove this one. I don't want the color thing anymore because I don't want to use it now. And I just have two properties, X and Y. So I want to make them property, not field anymore. So I just remove this one, then I define it again for you. Properties look like this. They should be public because I want to access it outside of this class. The data type is integer or whatever. Then name is X. Then I open and close such a thing after it. But it is not finished yet. We need to do something. I have something called set, and I have something called get. What are they? Set means when my user wants to send something, to set the X property to something like this function will be run. If my user wants to read it, for example, I have integer a equals to p dot x. Look now, my X changed its look. It became like a wrench. So it means, oh, it's a property now. So if I want to get the property like this one sets my property, this one gets my property. I can get, when I read the property, I run this one. When I want to set the value or assign something to it, this will run. So how it works? In the set, I need to store the value that is coming to the property somewhere. So I need another variable. I define it exactly like this, but with a little difference. I call it private. It should be private. It shouldn't be accessible from outside. Private. I use _x. My name of property _x, and of course the data type. It should be exactly like this. I use the name this, but most of the programmers, or not most, newer programmers, they use this one as capital, and they just use this one as lowercase. But now I got used to this, so I do this. So my private variable that holds the value of this property X is defined private and with an underscore. So now it's fine. So now I want to set the property. When I want to set the property, I write underscore x equals to value. Value is something that predefined. When in a property, value means the thing is coming to my property. And in the get, I need to just return my underscore x. This is how it works. But still, it is exactly like what I did before. So, but the good thing is I can have some data validation. For example, if I want to prevent my user from entering negative numbers, I can write just if my value is less than 0, then value underscore x equals to 0. And of course, then after this one, I want to use, for example, else, and if else happens that this is not less than 0, x equals to value. This is how it works. Let's try it, how it works. And of course we have to define y as well, so I need to define y. Okay, I just copy and paste it. I copy and paste this one. Everyone I think knows Control V and Control C are the shortcuts for copy and paste. Okay, y, no, the other one is integer y. This is y, and y. So my x and y are two different properties now, and it says it's okay now. There is no red line under it, and it is possible to do that. So if I assign negative numbers to them, so you remember, if I could run this one, let's see what happens. Let's remember the value. Okay, this is the values. 156 point something means oh, it's okay. But if I enter negative numbers, it should be assigned to 0 this time. Okay, so they are assigned to 0, so my distance from origin is 0. So this is the thing. But the good thing is, if I don't implement set or get, my property changes from the way it is. For example, if I want to read only data, read only property, I can just comment or just remove the set. If I don't implement the set, my property is read only. Okay, let me show you some cool stuff. If I just mark this one and I go here, then I press this button, the whole thing becomes commented. Means I don't have any set. I don't implement the set anymore. It says property or indexer. This one is read only. If you can see, if I move my mouse, it goes away. So I cannot show you on the screen. It says property or indexer windows. This cannot be assigned to. It is read only. So I can have read only property. Or if I don't implement the get, I cannot read it anymore. Which is not very useful. Read onlys are very useful. But if I don't implement the get, it is not very useful. But there are some usage for them, but not very common. Okay, this is how a property works. Another cool stuff here is, for example, I'm implementing a class. It is long. I don't want to see all the thing right now, so I can use this kind of this collapse and this thing collapse and I don't know the other word, to just hide them in the view. I don't want to see them. Or I can completely hide the whole class from my view. I just see class minus, nothing. and then I can collapse them. Okay, these are our properties. And okay, we learned how to do this one, how to define properties, how to use properties, and how to use methods. And I showed you the message box. And there is one thing more that I need to discuss. Oh, actually two things. One is the namespace. Namespace is a collection of classes. My program is a name. Namespace Windows application, Windows Form application 1 means, okay, I have a namespace means I have a collection that all of my classes, forms, buttons, everything is in this namespace. You see, namespace open and close like every other thing in C. Then my partial public partial class form 1. This means inheritance, means I have defined the class form 1 that inherits everything from class form. This one is called constructor. I will talk about it later. In other, we can talk about it in Android development. This is called constructor. It means whenever this one wants to come to the memory, when I run something with new keyword, this constructor will be executed. So these are the things. And another thing, there is another thing. You remember, if I double click on the button, I go to the handler of the button 1_click. But what happens if I double click on my form? Another function will be created. It's called FormLoad. Means every time my form wants to be loaded to the memory, and actually it is loaded to the memory, this will be wrong. So I want to show you this one with a message box. Message box is a very useful thing. Okay, then I just write this one as I want to show you a message that form loaded. Then I want to run it. You see, first my form loaded message box is shown. When my message box is on the screen, the whole code is stopped. So whenever I press OK, the rest of the code will be executed and the form will be painted on my screen. Okay, that's it. This one is a very good thing for configuration of the form. For example, I want to do something on my form in the runtime. I don't want to change the properties from here, but I want to change it before I send it to a screen. For example, I want to configure my form as form 1, but when I want to refer to the class that I am in, I don't use the class name form 1. I use this. This means me. The class I'm referring to myself. When I'm referring to message box, text box, I say text box. When I refer to button, I say button. But when I'm working with the form, the class I'm in it, I have to use this dot. Text equals to hello. Okay, so without changing the properties from this property explorer, I can configure my form and all over the components around my screen in the form load before it is painted on the screen. So that's it. We need to use all of them in the Android. There are same things. This not exactly with the same name, but you have the same concept in the Android. So the click, the form load, but not form load. It is called something else in Android. We will talk about it later. Properties are like the same methods. All of them are same in the Android. So that's it. This is that was our whole introduction to very small introduction. Of course, of object oriented. We follow the other things in the next videos in the Android developer, not C# anymore, but we will switch back and forth in the C# and Android to show some easier, because C# is much easier to for me to show you things. Android looks a little freaky sometimes, but don't worry at all. I make it as easy as I can for you. Thanks for watching this video. I welcome questions, and the next video will be starting off installing Android SDK and Android development. Thanks a lot. See you in the next video.